Hello again. So last time we looked at pop ballad and how you go about composing on Cubase. We've added a chord sequence, intro, we've added double verse, pre-chorus, chorus, the little bit in between the chorus and the second verse, single second verse, into a pre-chorus, into chorus, into a middle eight, which isn't actually in the middle, into another chorus, into an ending. Now we're going to put a key change in there. We're just going to bung it up one key change. That's the bit where the gospel choir comes out, and if it was X Factor, Simon Cowell would stand up and start applauding and stuff like that, and the fireworks go off and all that stuff. Or if they're sitting on stools, a band sitting on stools, that's the point where they actually stand up. Yeah. And normally one person starts singing slightly too high for their voice, but nonetheless. What we've also done is we've added some drums, we've added some bass, we've added some strings, and a little harmony part in the strings as well. Okay, all stuff that we've gone through and explained. What I'd like to go through is actually start adding a little bit of stuff with the other parts, okay, to look at what we want to maybe do with our bridge. So I'm just going to play from the second bit, the second half of the first double verse, and then have a listen to the chords of the pre-chorus. Okay, so in order to make the chorus, generally in a pop ballad, normally to make the chorus have more kind of impact, we want to take things down a little bit. So possibly rhythmically in the strings, take down the rhythm. Obviously there's kind of quite an insistent kind of da-da-da-da kind of rhythm in the strings. You might want to take something down and just kind of simplify the rhythms a little bit. Again, simplify the bass part. Potentially chill out the drums a little bit. Okay, so let's look at how we might do that. Now, you've got the chords here in the piano. Now, I am going to just press Alt, drag down, and just copy the chords in their entirety. Okay, and hence then listen to that. And already it makes it kind of sound different. I don't want to just have exactly the same though, so I'm going to double click on this and we can do a little bit of editing, I suppose. I'm going to take off the probably the bass part for the moment and just get rid of those bottom notes. So I'm just left with 3-part chords on top, and just have a little bit of a listen. Okay, we talked about horizontal and vertical, and already here you can see that at this point the horizontal kind of breaks down. We go from having a high note there and it disappears. So already visually we can see that if we're putting the strings in there, we don't want to necessarily, we might need to change some notes around. Okay, as in changing the octave of the notes. So let's have a listen. Yeah, so straight away that C, in fact those C and D can go up there. Okay, I would also say that this F can go up there, the E can go up there, now what I've done there is I've tried, if you look at each individual, if these were 3 instruments, okay, their kind of phrasing is a little bit better now. Okay, Not saying it's perfect, just let's solo that. Now, what I've just done there is I think there might be a chord. See, that is an E major chord. And I think, I'm not sure. Let's listen. Okay, that sounds good. Now I like that chord. That's an E major chord over a B. Need to check just quickly what initially the chord was there. It was a G7. I'm just quickly. So E over. Okay, so that's now a straight E chord. Okay, I'm just going to quickly play that and see if it works going into the next section, because those parts seem to want to do that. Those two parts working together, those two chords seem to work better than a G chord. Never be frightened of changing your chord sequence. If at any point you think, it doesn't quite sound right, change it. No reason why not. Okay, if it sounds better, it sounds better. Let's just have a listen to the second half of this. Yeah, I do prefer that actually. Okay, so E7, that's now a chord change. If you do that, just make sure in your notes, where you've written your chord sequence, you then write down that you've changed a chord. Okay, so when you change a chord, make sure you write it down, because if you start talking about it in your written work that your chord sequence is X, Y, Z, and your examiner is hot on their chords, they can listen and go, no, it's not, and they'll then think you've made a mistake, as opposed to you've changed the chord because it sounds better. So just make sure that if you make changes, you write them down in your composition sketchbooks, so that everything's down there, or the little red books we gave you last week, or depending when you read this video, the exercise books we gave you a few weeks ago, a few months ago, depending on when you're watching this. Okay, so that's fine. I quite like that string part. Okay, I'm not going to add another string part because that has multiple parts in it, so I don't need to add anything else. Bass, however, now I got rid of the bass in the strings, primarily because I'm going to put them in the bass guitar. Okay, so I'm going to edit, copy, click on the bar, click on bass, edit, paste, and I've now got the notes of the chord. So I got hiccups, got the notes of the chord. Now I'm just going to listen to that as it is and see what we think. Okay, we need to move some things around here. Moved it one up too much. Let's have another listen. it's fine as it is, but we've definitely got some ability to put some rhythm in there. So I'm going to be counting in quavers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So dum 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 da da. So hence my last two quavers. Da 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 da. Oops, daisy. So dum da da dum, and then da da dum. So it's similar-ish to my previous bass part. Okay, just walking up and down scales. Dum da da dum, da da dum, dum dum dum, dum. Something different here. Bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Da da da. Okay, now have a listen to the bass part here. Now, because it's going into the chorus, that's why I've done that kind of quaver thing there. Ding, 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 ding. Because of that point, yeah. Do, 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 do. Now, I'll put that down because our chorus starts in C. Okay? So the reason I've done that is because that D leads you down to C. Okay? If I'll just quickly drag around that, obviously the notes I've clicked in are a different volume. If sometimes you want to change notes, you can drag across it with a pencil, but if you go into line, you can just draw a line straight across and it will change the volume of all of them. Okay? Because I want generally the volume to be the same. I could fiddle around with it and add some musicality volume, but it doesn't matter as much as with drums. So let's have a listen to that bass part. Yep, I'm happy enough with that. Now I've got that. Hold down Alt, copy it into my other pre-chorus there, and we're on to drums. So I could stick the same drum part in, but I want to try something a little bit different. So let's just have a quick listen to the last 4 bars of this. Okay, so initially, I think we'll try some hi-hats. Oops, sorry, that's the tambourine. Okay, F sharp 1. Okay. T t t t t t. T t t. Actually, I will try some semiquavers. T t t t t t t t. Whoops. Good, like that. First one. Okay, so have a listen to the difference that makes. Just the first, so it goes ba 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 ba. So you've got some kind of dynamics there. Yep, happy enough with that for the moment. That can happen for 4 bars, I think. Yep, I'll do that for 4 bars. 2 bars of that. Okay, now when it comes to like kick and snare at this point, it's probably a little bit of a suck it and see. Add some things and see whether you like it. We want it to be less than we had previously. Okay, so I'll just put it to quavers for the moment. So stick on at the beginning of each bar. Let's just stick a kick drum at the beginning of each bar. Okay, that's kind of, and then we'll work out where we want to put a snare drum. So listen. So like boom, boom, cat, boom, 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 cat, I think is the one for me. I don't think that's exactly the same beat as before, is it? So it'll be boom, boom, cat. So there'll be less snare here. So 1, 2, 3. So boom, boom, cat, boom, 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 cat, boom. Whoops, daisy. So that is what I think is in my head. So it's like boom, boom, cat, boom, 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 cat, boom, boom. Yeah, so that's good. Now when I've done that for a couple of bars, I can just get rid of those kicks. That didn't take me as long as I thought it would. Okay, so let's have a listen to that. Okay, that's good. The last 2 bars is where I want it to start building up. So my drums then are going to get busier. So it goes from tick, 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 tick. Yeah, so you go bam, what's the daisy? So quaver, semi-quaver, semi-quaver. And that's the rhythm. Tick, ticky, tick, ticky. Okay, tick, ticky. And then copy that across. Have a listen to that. Actually, at that point there, that last couple of beats, all semi-quavers. Ticky, 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 ticky. With ticky, ticky. Whoops a daisy. Tick. Okay, with those ones at the beginning of the beat being louder. Okay, let's have a listen to that. Okay, so we can probably do another bar of this drum beat. Okay. Yeah, I would say another one because the last bar can be the fill-in. Let's try that. Here we go. Again, trial and error. You don't like it, change it. If you do, save it. Pretty happy with that. Okay, I'm fine with that. Just a little bit busier. Okay, you just kind of have a few more beats happening. It's still not huge amounts because it's still not necessarily the world's fastest ballad. Okay, once we've got that, copy it across, and you'll notice with pop songs when you do one bit, your other bit's done for you. Once you do the chorus, we'll only have like the middle 8 left to do, and then we're going to have very little to do. Let's have a listen to that so far then. happy with that. Really happy with that. I think that sounds pretty good. So, file, save. Okay, every time you do something you want to keep, save it. Computers can and will crash. Normally, just before you're going to save at the end of a lesson, it'll crash. Remember that all school computers in the last 10 minutes is the most likely time to crash, because everyone everywhere else in lessons is saving their work on computers. So hence then, servers under more pressure, more likely to crash. Okay, so if you save regularly, it doesn't matter if your save at the end of the lesson ends up the computer crashes, you'll have missed out on 2-3 minutes worth of work. If you only save at the end of the lesson and it crashes, you miss out on a whole lesson's worth of work. And there's nothing more demotivating. I mean, this video is 21 minutes in, okay? And granted, all I've done is basically sort out so far with the middle, but the pre-chorus. But that's 20 minutes I don't need to spend again. And it's annoying when you have to redo things, okay? It's difficult to motivate yourself if you lose a lesson or two's worth of work. So save regularly. Let's have a thinking now about what we do with the chorus. We want the chorus to be big. I'm going to start with drums. Yeah, so it needs to just be bigger and probably more stuff going on. So like, yeah, just something more. Let's see if we can click something like that in. I'm assuming here I'm going to end up using semiquavers, because I'm assuming that there'll be some rhythmic stuff with that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, cat. Boom, boom, cat. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so I think dum, dum, k, dum, dum, k, dum, dum, k. Yeah, so dum, bum, pat. Ba, bum, dum, ta, da, da, dum, dum, ta, da, dum. 1 second. Let's hear that there. Okay. Dum dum. Da-dum. That's 2 bars worth. So I can copy. I think I have 6 bars worth there. Let's have a listen to it without. Pretty happy with that, actually. Do need to copy another bar or 2 of it. I'm going to leave the last bar to be some kind of fill-in. So, this is where you want a crash cymbal, and that's, which is pretty loud, but stick it in there. Just means when you hit your chorus, there's a big cymbal, and hence people know it's a chorus. So, like that. You might want to take the volume down a touch, because that's a bit more like it on volume, okay? But a cymbal is a useful thing to have at the beginning of a chorus, especially in a pop ballad. It kind of tells the public that it's the chorus now, okay? I'm probably going to go ride cymbal. So, hi-hat, ride cymbal. Okay, just see what it sounds like. So, ting, 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 ting. Ting, ticka, ting, ticka, ting. I think like ding, digga, ding, digga, ting, ticka, ting, ticka, ting. Again, is what I want. Ding, ding, ding. Nope. And again, volume. Think about volume here. Ding, digga, ding, digga, ding. So the long notes get more dynamic. Ooh, whoops-a-daisy. ting, 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 ting. Okay, and Control D that. Let's have a listen to that. Actually, I've changed my mind. Have it on hi-hat. Sounds a little bit too jazzy otherwise, but let's have a check. Now, that one there needs to have something different happening because it's halfway through the chorus. Let's have a listen. Try that. So what I've done, I wanted to go. So let's have a listen. Probably not right, but. Okay, that's now will be correct. Yeah, that's better. So I'll stick in a kick there as well, just to kind of. So now what I'm gonna do is, because that's a different beat, I quite like that. I'm gonna get that and I'm gonna paste it. Hold down Alt. And I'm gonna paste it into that bar. Okay, into my final bar. I'll also Control D that, and all I'll do in this bar is put some toms. So yeah, so not too much, but you know, some kind of toms in there. Put some rhythms in there. So we're gonna reach that. Now it's always good to listen to it and then just kind of go dum-dum. I mean, you sound a bit silly when you do it, but you know, if it makes your piece of music better and you get a better grade by kind of, you know, chatting rhythms to yourself, then do it. Okay. So it's kind of the similar rhythm that's doing, but it goes doom 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 doom, or yeah, I prefer the higher one. So ding 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 ding. So ding 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 ding. That might not be right, but you never know. Let's have a look. We could start it happening at the beginning of that last bar, I think. So ding 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 diggy diggy. So I kind of want a diggy diggy at the end. So that's got didin 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 didin. So it's a bit more of a drum fill. It's not the world's biggest drum fill by any means, but for the moment, I'm happy with that. Okay, so I've got the drums. Now strings. We've just had the strings being quite chilled out, so we want them, oh wait, file save. We want them to be a bit more energetic. Okay, if you're getting into a chorus of a pop ballad and you've got a pre-chorus, then you want and it's pretty chilled out, you want the chorus to be kind of as busy as it gets in the song. Potentially apart from the last couple of bars of a middle eight just before you get into your chorus again, but generally these string parts here want to be a bit more full on. I'm going to do a copy down of the chords again. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the bass. Okay, get rid of the bass notes, and I would say I've put everything up an octave. Okay, so as soon as when you raise the pitch of strings, it makes things sound a bit more impactful, especially if it jumps. So, I mean, have a listen initially. See what you think. Okay, so already you're like, yeah. We've got a thing about the horizontal again. Okay, if you were to follow, if there was to be 3 parts, a part kind of goes here and then jumps there and then jumps there and jumps down loads. The horizontal isn't great here. Okay, it's fine on piano, but it's not great as far as that's concerned. So now that A is actually quite nice. It may be that actually the bottom part gets moved. Okay, now here we've got A, D, and A. Okay, which isn't really what we want. Okay, it's a chord 2, so it's a D, F, A chord. So actually we could just move that to be an F. Okay, because we've got rid of the bass note. That was where the F was, because it was a first inversion chord. So we've got rid of the third of the chord, so we can add it back here. That means that F can stay where it is. That can go there, although that C can go up again, because again, if we generally have the graph of our chorus goes up, we're going to kind of slightly build through the chorus as far as emotion is concerned. And again, so I'm not changing the notes, I'm just changing the octave. Okay, and then this is one of those F chords again. Okay, so I've changed the octave, and if you look now horizontally, that's a lot kind of neater as far as the horizontal movement of the parts, and they are moving stepwise, bit by bit, up and up and up. So hopefully the kind of intensity of this should kind of push that chorus through. Let's have a listen. It does exactly what it says in the tin. Okay, it kind of builds it in there, which is good. File, save. So all I've done there is exactly the same notes as in the piano part. You took the bass away because we're going to add a bass part, so we don't want to be doubling up too much. And then all you've done is you've thought about the horizontal of your chords. You've looked at them as 3 individual instruments. Okay, all moving in that way. Okay, and I quite like that. I think it works well. So, bass. You may still notice that I am yet to press a note on a keyboard. Now, this is on purpose. I do kind of obviously play the piano, and I can kind of make things up on the piano, but I'm purposely doing this composition just clicking notes in, not playing anything. Because if we can make a piece of music which sounds good and sounds like a pop ballad and sounds like it should and has all the musical stuff in it without being able to play those things, then it says that if you haven't got those keyboard skills, and then that's not your strength, but you can still do something really kind of positive, and you can still get a good composition. Okay, so this is on purpose. Okay, if you have got some keyboard skills, then that's brilliant. It just makes it easier for you. Okay, but yeah, so I don't want you kind of thinking that, oh well, it's all well and good, Mr. Levkowski, composing a piece. I could never do something like that, because we're just going through. This is application of our theory. The reason we do our music theory is so we can use this theory to help us compose. Okay, all those Roman numerals and all those inversions and sevenths and stuff, that's why we're doing it. We do it to compose. We're going to use it in the listening test, but we use it to compose. 50% of your course is composition, so we need to make sure it's good. Okay, so ding 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 ding. Okay, cool. Now our bass part wants to be probably a bit more, well, chuggy, if that makes sense. So like ding 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 ding, yeah. So kind of ding 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 ding. Whoops. So ding 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 ding. Now note that I'm changing between 8ths and 16ths. There's a reason. If I have this in 16ths, I can't just quickly click in, because at this point I click in, the length of the notes, this is length quantized, is linked to the quantize. So if I click it on quavers, it will only click quavers. I don't need to worry about it. If I have it on semiquavers, okay, even if I put them in the right place, it will initially give me a semiquaver, and I might actually want a quaver. So I'm changing between quaver and semiquaver, really just to make it easier for myself when I'm clicking notes in. Okay, so I've got ding 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 dim 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 dibba dibba dim. Now I went diddle diddle ding, because that's kind of, that's what's in my head. So dum dum diddle dum 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 dum. 1 2 dum bum 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 bum. Hey, now because of what I've got there, the same bass part really just repeats. Okay. Oh, whoops a daisy, that was wrong. 1 sec. Yes. Okay. Again, volume's a little bit all over the place. They're all a little bit too loud. So get my line, take it there, take it a straight line across, and then Bob's your uncle. There we go. So we got a bass part, which is generally the notes of the chords, but just with some passing notes. Okay, just passing between and just basically jazzing it up a little bit, giving it a little bit of forward motion. Okay, let's have a listen to now. Oh, file save. Let's have a listen to our pre-chorus and chorus and see if it builds. Okay, good. There is one issue, for me anyway. My strings are really, really high, and my bass actually is really, really low. So So I'm probably dum diddle dum bum. And I'm probably gonna move. Yeah, I think my bass should move up. It's too low there. Okay, I think. I'm just going to have a little listen to that. But for me, the strings were so high that the bass really doesn't want to be as bassy. He wants to be slightly higher up. Again, let's have a listen, see if it works. But for me, the bass and the strings were too far apart. There was too much in the middle, and it was, to me, didn't quite sound right. Okay, trust in your ears. If something doesn't sound right, change it, see what happens. Only thing, ding ding, ba 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 bum. So I'm going to put that back down. So it was, okay, because an octave jump in the bass is quite a cool thing at the end. Yeah, I like that. So I'm happy with my bass part. Okay, now at that point, you can go around, press Alt, copy it in, and copy it in again. So now you're looking at a point where actually you've got an awful lot of the song done. And we're 42 minutes into this video, but this is with me explaining what I'm doing. So at the moment we're, you know, an hour and 40 minutes into composing a piece of music at most, of which probably half of it has been me explaining and showing. So really, that's not taken too long to get to a point where actually you've got a structure, you've got kind of notes and chords and drums and things that are changing, and you know, there's other things we're going to do to it, but at the moment we're getting there. So after our chorus, let's think what we want to have, because we want it to cut out, but I don't think we want it to cut out as much as it does. So let's have a listen. Okay, first things first. The bass goes ba 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 bum. It needs to go to bum. So that one. Ba 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 bum. Now I'm gonna go bum ba ba bum. So C to G. Now I'll explain what I've done there. C, and then I've moved to its dominant. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, tonic, C, dominant, G. Go together. Dum, 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 dum. 4, 5, 1. So F, G, C. So I've kind of made almost like a little cadence there. Okay, so that's like 4, 5, 1. Okay, because it's going to drive you back to C. Okay, let's just have a quick listen to that. Relatively happy with that. In the strings, now I'm going to extend the length of this, because actually I think a little bit of this chord continuing into this bar as opposed to it being a new chord. I think if we listen to this, you could actually get away with some of these notes, or something just kind of, I don't know, flowing over. Can't flow over because they're a different chord, but so that's our chord of C, C, E, G, but it's in first inversion, just because of the, again, horizontal, probably easy to do that. I didn't want it going up again. It needs to drop in intensity. Okay, so hence why the D doesn't go to the E. At this point, if I kept on doing that, it would sound like this bit was driving into something bigger, but it's going back to a verse, so it wants to chill itself out a little bit. Let's have a listen to that and just pop the volume down of that chord. Okay, now you'll note that I've done a scale there. So da na 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 na, because hence you know where it's going. So dun, 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 na, 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 na. Let's try that. Okay. Now I'm kind of guessing here. Again, nothing. And I've guessed wrong. I can tell straight away that this is going to sound wrong. I will play it, if nothing else, to prove to you that sometimes I get it hideously wrong. This is an example of that. Yep, that's a hell of nasty. Okay, let's get rid of those notes. That was a bad thing. I quite like the da na 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 na. So, let's try. Let's try just those two sticking on there. Let's have a listen. So probably it needs to be a little bit louder. One, two, three, four. 1, 2. Okay, I think. Oopsie-daisy. That might work better. Here we go. Try that instead. That's a bit better. Okay. The only last thing I'll do is, rather than repeat that twice, just make it a longer note. All I've done there is just change how I moved down. It didn't quite sound right going down. There was a bit of a clash. Now, if we go into chord editing here, if I drag around this first bit, it says A minor 9 over G. Okay. Really, we're still in kind of a C major-y kind of area, I suppose. Definitely when we hit this bit, we're on, you see there, G7. So actually, we've actually G, B, D, and there's a 7th there, okay? And there's a 6th, which is also a 13th. But then we've got that kind of sound, okay? So I'm relatively happy with that. So let's just have a quick listen to that. with that. Okay, so just drag that there. Now I'm kind of just using that little transition bit as the ending as well. Okay, I can probably even do that with the strings, so I'll just chop that bit of the strings off, press and hold down Alt, click and drag it, and bunk it at the end. I might end up changing that bit, but really I might not, so you never know. Okay, now I'm going to need to create a string part there because there isn't one at the beginning. Okay, but again, that shouldn't be too problematic. So file, save. Okay, now we have pre-chorus done, we have the chorus done, we have the bit after the chorus done. So really now all we're left to do is the middle 8, okay, which we'll do now. We're at 51 minutes, but we're going to try and finish this because I didn't want any of these videos being longer than an hour. So we currently have, it's 52 minutes now, so we currently have 8 minutes to do this bit here. So let's do it then. Let's have a listen to this bit and then get it done quick. Drum part. Dum. Okay. Boom. Boom. Not talking because I'm thinking. Let's have a little listen to this. Don't mind the thing that that's not busy enough. So get rid of that. It needs to be busier. Too busy. Boom, 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 cut. Ooh, dearie me. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Dum, dum, cut. Ta, ta, dum, dum, cut. Let's try that. So we're going to go boom, boom, cat, cap, boom, boom, cat, boom, cat. So we put it a different way round. Okay. Let's have a listen to that. So I've added a crash cymbal in there just because probably needs one if we're going to make it sound a bit bigger. So here we go. Okay, cool. So I'm just copying, oops, daisy, wrong. just copying the bass part, and the low notes I will just move up an octave. So dum dum dubba dum dubba dum dubba dum, yeah. Dum Okay, so I chose a rhythm which was dum dubba dum dubba dum dubba dum dubba dum, and then everything else I did was basically do the name of the chord, but then just stick in some of those notes in between, so you can kind of see where it generally goes, the notes in between. Okay, let's have a listen to that. Obviously it brings it in, it's like, yeah. So strings, we have a minute or so left, so I might go a little bit over, so apologies if this is a little bit longer than an hour, but nonetheless we've got 45 seconds. I don't want to rush my string part. We're not going to go much over. So string part, copy initial chords, get rid of bass. I think we're going to have that. So like that. But it'll be tap, 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 tap. So we'll take it to 16ths and drag around the whole lot. Shorten it so we get tap, 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 tap. Yeah, that's the one. I can drag around the whole of this lot, okay? I'm going to shorten it. In fact, I'll drag around all of this lot, shorten it to, ooh, whoops daisy, that's not shortening it, that's making it longer. Shorten it out to a quaver, okay? Then I can fill in the bars, like so. This is quickest way to do this, I think. So then they're all quavers, and drag them all, and you'll get that rhythm. It takes a lot longer to click the semiquavers in. Okay, and I'm going to listen to see what that sounds like. I'm going to trust in my own compositional skill, as should you, as in your own compositional skill, not mine. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, it's kind of a big bit before your last kind of chorus. Okay, last bit. I'm probably not going to put a key change in there. That bit's so big that I don't think it necessarily needs it. I've changed my mind on my key change. Here, oops, today's it. Copy the chord across. Get rid of the bass note. Think horizontally. So that can be an F. Maybe that's our chord 2, DFA, and then okay, I think we are there. There just to take us into that quiet outro section. Okay, so basic version of the song finished. Okay, except that last little bit there. C, G, get rid of that and just so. Boom, 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 boom. And what I'm doing here is making sure that this last little couple of bars is literally just the chord of C, which is what we're finishing in. Okay, I'm going to play you it. Okay, so this is, we're an hour and 4 minutes into the video, but we're going to play it. Okay, why not? It's generally there. Again, there's some things you want to start doing. We'll do that in the next section, the next session, next video. Vocals and harmonies and other things you might do, and start adding reverb and making it sound less computery, I think. But have a listen. This is the current song, which 2 hours ago did not exist at all. So here we go. Let's have a listen. Okay, so I'm relatively happy with that. Apart from that, I want a little bit there, a little crack. Not quite as loud as that. And then I think I'll be happy. Yep. Okay. So, sorry the video went slightly over. I think the last one was less than an hour, so this probably works out as 2 hours total. So that is explaining and showing you basically a backing track, how to create your backing track for a whole composition, and that is over a 4-minute song. So that's a 4-minute composition from beginning to end. Again, we haven't got melody yet, we haven't got vocals. That'll be in a separate session, separate video, but generally that would get an okay mark, as it is at the moment. If you added the vocals, we can get better, and we're going to start looking at that, which hopefully you'll be able to look at, and look at how kind of slightly more advanced things, more interesting in this chord sequence here, make it a bit more less block chords. Again, using some effects and obviously vocals and harmonies and lyrics and things, but generally, if you came up with that, I'd be pretty happy. And it's a good staging point for the next kind of session of what you then need to do to make a song to go from what at the moment is a backing track, okay, computerized backing track, to make it sound a little bit more musical, to make it more musical, and to add in some of these things. Okay, some of you are at this point already with compositions, but it's just useful to kind of watch someone go through it. So yeah, file save, and yeah, next video we will be looking at, I think, some vocals, start doing some lyrics and some vocals, and showing you how to use vocals and the harmony and the pitch correction software on Cubase, which is great. Okay, see you soon.